Yeah, I have this project back up and running this morning. When I started Creative Studio, you remember before I shut down yesterday, I placed the needle right at the beginning of the last row that I quilted. And the last row I quilted was this sash all the way across. The sash with the P2P pattern and this cornerstone pattern. So I quilted this entire bottom sash row, and I placed the needle at this point and did a set origin, and that made this point right there 0, 0. So when I started Creative Studio this morning, I placed the needle at this point. Then down here I had my box that said to click OK to set my point, repeatable point, and I clicked OK, and now you can see this is in fact my 0, 0, x equals 0, y equals 0. So now I know everything is lined up the way it's supposed to be. I'll start working on this next row and put in patterns. This is a little interesting quilt because the blocks are arranged in many different ways, so it gives me the opportunity to use different features of Creative Studio 6. And that's what I am using. And you can see I'm using Creative Studio 6 by the icons that are up here, which I like better than the new version, so I have no intentions of going to that new version. I want this word here, cowboys, so I divided this at these 2 points, but I want a point right there. So to get that, I'll right click, I'll convert that pattern to curve. Now when I select that little piece, get my nodes, I will have a point at right there, and I can divide this. I'm going to leave all of this connected. Turn on the end snap, connect that to there. Also, I don't want this at the end, so I'll get a node, find a place here to divide this. I'm going to divide it there, and I think I need to divide it back here somewhere. I'm just not sure which one of these is which. So I can divide it in 2 places. And let me select this. Okay, that looks good. I'll convert this section to a curve, pattern to a curve. Now when I get my nodes, I will have a place that I can divide this. Just divide it right there. And I'm going to get rid of all the rest of this stuff. And that leaves me with this word. I'm going to make sure it's all combined, so I can make sure. Now I'll just export this to CS6. Just give it the name. Okay, now I have that available up here. And what I'm going to do is use that in these sashes. One of these sashes I'll put Oklahoma in there, and then the other one I will put the word Cowboys. So I'll start putting patterns in. This sash here, or this part of this block, is split up in 3 pieces. This one is 5 inches, this one is 6 inches, and I'm going to put in the meander 1. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this 5 inches, or I could just go ahead and do it here. Pattern height. And that will take care of that. Now, put my machine in this upper left corner so I can put that in. Also, I need to know how wide this piece is. I'll measure it. It's 16.5. So total width here is going to be 16.5. I'll just put in 16 and see how that does. Okay, there's my pattern in that particular sash, or this area of the block. Not a sash, but that looks pretty good. This area here, I'm going to put that in there. It's 4 inches. And I'm only going to stitch over to here and then put again here to do it again. So move my machine down so that I'm in the upper left corner of that. Exit out of setup. Have this. Now I'll change my height to 4 inches. Let it change the width. And put in the width of this, how wide this piece is. Tell it it's 6 inches wide. Go down to my total width here of 6. I can click OK. It should put that in there. I'm going to move my machine over. And do it again. This time I have a little wider piece. This is 7 inches wide. Again, the height. Make it 4. Make this 7. And then all I have to do is go back and adjust all my patterns. Now this next one, it's going to be wider than that. But see, at meander, I can adjust that however I want to. That's a 6 inch wide. All I got to do is move my machine. Move it down here to the upper left corner. And put in the entire width of this. Okay, I'll go back and adjust all these after I get them in place. Then right in here, I'm going to place in my word. I think I'm going to put the word Oklahoma in here. Just go up and get Oklahoma. I could use I'll try pattern to boundary here and see if that works. Uh-oh, I had my machine in the wrong place. I'll Control Z that. I got to, well, I shouldn't have to select that boundary. I forgot I selected the wrong boundary. Okay, try it again. I had this boundary selected. I need this one. Yes, we all make these mistakes. But it is not going to put that in there like it should. Okay, do it a different way. I'll do repeat patterns. I have my machine in the upper left corner. And we'll see what happens this time. Okay, I should have adjusted the width of that. I have all of my patterns in place and adjusted, and I also put in this line right here so that it would sew from the end of this last repeat over to the beginning of the next repeat, and it would sew continuously. So now all I have to do is start quilting. And the first thing I think I probably need to do is make sure my sewing order here, since I've changed some things, I'll go and click on my sewing order. And okay, here I want to start with this one. This one go like this. Then see, I got to make sure that sews in the correct order. So all of these, I wouldn't have to change the rest of these because they're okay. Get 61. Click on this one. Then sew this one last. So now my sewing order is all set. All I need to do is do a stitch out. This block is all finished, and I did do some changes. I put the word Oklahoma in this sash, and then I put State Cowboys in here. I also went back and put a little pattern in this area because it was going to be really puffy, and I wanted to quilt something in there to make that not so there wouldn't be anything quilted in here because of this word. Just the letters OSU was embroidered in there. So and I made this little pattern using this P to P curve. And here's what I did. Okay, I need to get the right thing here. Delete that. Yep, that happens. Put this on the screen. And what I ended up doing with this was I rubber stamped it. Okay, I want to move this out of the way. Now it's going to start here, and then it wants to go back and start there. So if I flip this horizontally, I will have this. See, it'll start here, go there, and then back that way and end. All I have to do is bring this down here, get my end anchors, make sure end snap is on, snap it to that, snap that to that. Then I can adjust it. What I did was I selected it, I combined the two patterns into one, and you can see how this is, rather, large in here. So all you have to do really is increase it like that if you need to fill in a space, and that's what I did. And then I just had that right in that area. I'm going to delete this because it's going to want to stitch it. So that's how I made that. Now, I've got this block all finished. There's two more blocks and then another row, and I'll be finished with this quilt. Okay, I'm going to end this particular video, and I'll continue on making more videos as I do the rest of these blocks.